Good evening, everypony, and welcome to Commentary Magic Stream on today's Sunday, October 6th, 2019. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
Big cheese?
Smeagol.
A hobbit,
Nope.
I guess?
You ruins it. Ruins it!
Ruins it.
You never guess he was sick.
Trixie Hobbitsy.
Well, no, it's great because that makes him able to do the voice better.
Sure, that's
In
what
theory.
we'll go with. I am technically not dead yet, which is good.
Technically.
Hey, who's that blue pone that is sitting next to me on the desk there? Hey, blue pone.
Blue Pone says hello.
I think it's more of a white pone with blue hair.
To answer the Werefrogs question, no, I do not feel fine, but I am well enough to be here. I wouldn't miss SimStream.
Especially not with all the stuff we're going to talk about today.
Oh yeah.
Do we have
We
some
got good
fun
stuff
here?
today. I'm gonna tear our
you're just
back into pieces.
You're just here because you want to harass me endlessly about.
I mean, yeah. Obviously.
This is fine. I mean, I probably deserve some of this.
So today we're going back to a stream format that we've done before, but it's always a fun one, and especially topical with Continentals just around the corner here. And that is the Deck Doctor stream. Sometimes players will come up with a deck, and for one reason or another, it just doesn't live up to their expectations. I know I've been there. A lot recently, in fact. And sometimes all it takes is getting a second or third or fourth set of eyes to look at it, offer some suggestions as for changes, and try to get the identity of the deck as close to intact as possible. And so that's what we're going to do here. We've had several players, both among our group and among the community, submit some deck lists that they would like to be reviewed and tweaked to try to make them a bit more competitive. And we'll do that before we get into some spoiler discussion at the end.
Quite a bit of spoiler discussion. A lot of spoilers.
Oh, yeah. So who are we starting with?
We are starting with Arcat's deck. I think you're just eager to rip me a new one here, aren't you?
Oh, I haven't been waiting a whole week to do this or anything.
Yes, you have.
Ara, explain your deckness.
Silver Stream and purple and all of the eccentric. Also Sunset Festivals, because it's funny to be like...
The thing that needs to come out is the Sunset Festivals.
No.
The next thing that needs to come out is the Silver Stream.
I will... Yeah, fair, actually.
No.
I will defend those Sunset Festivals honor to the death because people like running their Pony of Shadows, and if they like doing that, then that means they have good things for me. Also, it's very expensive but hilarious to Tempest and Grubber something on top of their deck and then be like, is this your friend?
Yep.
It's my friend now.
Now, there's one thing to note here about this deck. It's you built this for the Defender's block, right?
This is a Defender's block deck, yes.
But you're planning on bringing something like this to Continentals.
Probably.
Okay, well, we're just going to get on under the hood here and pull out this, that. You don't need one of these, and you definitely need 3 of these.
Yeah.
So let's take a look and see what we can do to update this to the current core format, to maybe include a few pieces that you just don't really have access to right now.
Something conducts.
Yeah. All right. Well, the first thing we're going to do is put the best problem ever created in the entire game into the deck.
Trading traditions?
Yes.
All right, fair enough. Probably Ixlibert Fest.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems to be a fine choice.
It's either that or Banquet Baking, so I don't have to carry these Earth Pony tokens everywhere.
Yep. Stellar Flare is another card that we need to look at here, because while it does provide you with entry in the Defender's block format, we can do better.
You're just gonna yeet her out for Zakora.
Yes, we are. But this
The
is...
Banished Sakura?
Yes,
Yes.
the Banished Sakura. And there's a reason for this here. A lot of the deck's cards will eventually be able to benefit from having just that extra 2 purple rec. And Zakora gives a nice body that provides some impact on her own.
And is especially funny if someone has their main at a problem and wants to use stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, you've got the party mares in here, and party mares are definitely fun. Do you prefer the party mares, or would you rather run sonatas?
That's not even a decision, unfortunately.
Is it the sonatas?
What are you doing with that poppy?
Get the poppy out of here. No.
In Poppy.
No poppy.
Poppy.
No
Yeah,
poppy.
no Poppy. Poppy has no place in this kind of deck. Especially if we're about to rip Party Mare out. So Party Mare is neat if she goes unchecked. The problem is that I expect an extremely large amount of checking.
Sure, that's fair. Now, you mentioned being able to Tempest and Grubber opposing friends and then use Sunset Festival on them for 6 AT to get a friend into play, and yeah, it's great. But one of the great things about going back and forth is you get one of the strongest purple events ever printed.
Interdimensional
banned.
portal?
No, Interdimensional Portal is banned. We're talking about nap cakes here.
You should clarify legal because otherwise it's Portal.
Okay, fair. Or Destiny Drain.
Run Portal.
That, I
that's-
believe, is a Crystal Games card, unfortunately.
It is.
Reprint Destiny Drain.
That was a fun card.
No, it wasn't. It means you can't run.
What do you want to take
fun
out for
things.
Napcakes?
A couple copies of Tempest, Shadow, and Grubber. Not
Two?
all of them.
Two?
Yeah, we'll leave one of them in there because a body is nice to have. We'll throw a couple nap cakes in there. I think we can also probably afford to drop a Pinky's Present since we now have Sonatas for more temporary control. To bring the nap cakes up to 3. All right. So let's go back and take a look and see where we're at here.
You have to copy the short URL.
Ah, if I can find it.
It's up at the top somewhere. Like, scroll.
No, it's there. I clicked it. I don't know if it did anything.
It did. It popped up another window hiding somewhere. So Werefrog, we're doing this in a strange way that you can't rely on most of the normal browser gestures.
Give me a sec here.
Jeopardy theme music.
We forgot to bring the music.
We did forget to bring the music.
Can go get a hold of the G3 Rainbow Dash Always Dresses in Style music. That will be topical later.
That will be topical later.
Just make sure it's the one that's 15 minutes of just that one bar over and over again.
I know the video you're talking about, and it haunts my nightmares.
I love how many views that video has. That's amazing.
We are creatures of habit. Never let anyone tell you otherwise. Okay, so let's discuss a few of the things here, right? Sonata Dusk is just an incredibly powerful card that fulfills the same purpose of Party Mare, which is giving Silverstream relatively easy access to a few friends, or at least helping her make friends early.
It's not even that. Like, if we're going back into EO, there's a good argument for that 111 Pipsqueak as well, because it's an early friend, it's got eccentric,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Sonata is just a complete and utter terror on her own. She's got eccentric, and she steals things. And if there's one thing that Pinks love, it's stealing things.
So now you've got 3 Sunset Festivals, 3 Sonata Dusks, and still 2 Pinky's Presents.
Yeah. And most importantly, 3
Haha.
belly flops.
There we go. Okay. So let's go through the checklist. There's a checklist that every deck should
Did you double check
either
the
be able to
checklist?
pass or justify not passing. How many
I
pieces
would
of
like
resource
to-
removal do you have?
I would like to pre-justify any flaws. Ready?
I'm sure you would.
Ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Honk!
Honk. There you go.
He did it before he was ready.
You have 3 resource removal in the Luna's Futures, which is good.
Probably not enough resource removal in this
Eh,
current
you could
format,
make-
but
you could make the argument of dropping like a, I don't know, like a Burning Bridges or something. But I like these cards. They're all good. You could actually consider dropping one of the Burning Bridges or something to add a Frozen in Magicite since you have Selena, but you don't really have a way to cover it, and so it's like, you know,
it's not great.
yeah.
Right.
Option. Entry, you've got 3 Zakoras, 3 Twilights, and 3 Fire of Friendships, plus your trading traditions. So that's looking pretty good.
I think this is going to have significantly fewer entry issues than it does in Defender's Block.
Well, I'm hoping so. Most of your purple cards still have 3 requirement, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what Glimmer's for.
Yeah, being able to have another option to get into Glimmer that's actually free, even cheaper than playing like a barrel or a motivational speech, is going to be nice.
Yeah. And you can get into Zakora just playing her with fire as well, so that's fine.
Yep. So, some fun options here.
Not even fun, it's just better.
Yeah, Zakora's fun. Zakora's a fun card. No one expects the Zakora. No one expects the unflipped Silver Stream, banish Zakora, napcakes your opponent's friend to stop them from face-offing and doing madness. I don't know.
That seems like a waste of purple entry, to be perfectly honest.
Maybe.
No, I'm kind of sad that there's not enough space to put the other Zakora in here, the one that gets you a token when people don't confront the problem.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Especially in a deck like this, where it's just like, hi, I see you're trying to confront a problem.
You could drop the other Tempest Shadowing Grubber.
And a Sunset Festival.
And 1 Sunset Festival if you really wanted to add 2 more of those Zakoras in here.
No.
No?
I like the Tempest and Grubber for defensive options. Admittedly, they should not be a 3 of.
What about a bait and switch?
No, absolutely not.
Alright.
Absolutely not.
Well, this at least gives you access to a few more useful tools that Defender's Block wouldn't have granted. So there you go. There's some fun stuff there. Who else submitted a deck list?
Pirate Dash submitted a deck list.
See, is your appetite sated now, GP?
Yeah, and I didn't tear it to shreds.
To shreds, you
To
say.
shreds, you say.
Futurama jokes. I see what you did there.
So Pirate Dash added a few notes on here. He said, the goal of this deck was to use the speed and frighten effects of blue with the power of orange, and the Scoots and Pirate Dash combo helps to frighten cards during the end of turns. Using Orchard Blossom at the start of the game helps to get some power fast. Mystery Mare can get him a friend back or frighten an opponent's friend. He wanted to run this or a version of this at Continentals last year, but he didn't, and he highly regretted it. So blue-orange. Blue-orange.
Blue, orange, and not elves.
Blue-orange and not elves. There are, before we get into individual card choices here, there is something fundamental that has to be understood. If you are trying to play a deck as an aggro deck, as an aggressive deck, generally speaking, your best goal is going to be to go fast enough and apply enough pressure in terms of getting you closest to winning the game to force the opponent to commit resources to respond. Because as soon as the opponent does not feel like they are under pressure, or feels like they can go faster than you can,
You are
your
reacting
deck
to
is
them, and they are not reacting to you, and that is a bad thing.
right. Especially in a deck whose two color combinations do not provide for hard removal and have less than stellar options for resource removal as well. Beyond just that, though, Scootaloo is a perfectly fine aggro main in the current meta, but her playstyle pairs significantly better with other secondary color combinations than with orange. We're going to keep Scootaloo here because this is what Pirate Dash wanted to do, and he wanted synergies with Pony Pirate, and that makes sense. But understand that Scootaloo would likely work far better with orange as a second, or I'm sorry, with yellow as a secondary color, or possibly white or even pink, compared to orange. Orange plays a tempo-focused game where a lot of its cards are more expensive and are not going to create opportunities for double problem face-offs very easily. They are big, and big friends are nice, but big friends have targets. And while the resources that he's chosen to include here are definitely powerful, every 2 AT you have to spend on Appaloosa and every 3 AT you have to spend on Desert Road is that much more AT that you are not spending getting yourself closer to winning the game. But we have a direction that we want to go here. We want to keep a deck that has methods of being able to frighten its opponent's friends. And we want to keep some Pony Pirates in there. And we want to keep a deck that can aggro with Scootaloo.
All right, so let me. What is that I'm looking at there? Is that Back in Black?
That's Back in Black.
Where is that thing? Oh, it's a rainbow, right?
Mm-hmm. So Scootaloo has a playstyle that is very different than that of, say, Bluna. Bluna is an example of a blue main who's going to be very reliant on the cards in her hand, because that's how Bluna works. That's how Mafia works. Yeah, we're going way back to old memes at this point in time.
What?
It was a meme.
Memes.
Might be a little overhead.
Let's see here.
Bluna plays friends to be able to move their main for free, and that's how Bluna stays efficient. Scootaloo moves friends at the end of the turn, meaning that Scootaloo wants to try to start multi-problem face-offs as often as possible so she can keep applying pressure and spending the minimum amount of AT required to do so. That means that Scootaloo cares far more about the friends that are actually sticking around on the board. So there are a few friends that are definitely very valuable. Orchard Blossom and Applejack Pony Pirate both have 4 printed power baseline and cost only 3 AT to play. Orchard Blossom is a great friend and one you won't keep up at problems, and Pony Pirate has an impactful ability dealing with troublemakers. Applejack Pony Pirate, that is. Rainbow Dash Back in Black, Trixie, Big Mac to a point, these are cards that you don't really want as much. They don't do a whole lot. Back in Black specifically asks a lot of you, since you need to be winning the face-off by 5 or more power in order for it to do anything. And if you played it anticipating you were going to, and then the opponent plays a trick and you don't, now you've got a 2-power friend eating up a home limit slot.
So you'd look at that and maybe go, if you're going to run this, could you run Night Glider instead? If you have Night Gliders, maybe, but it's also worth noting that that only has 1 blue requirement, so you can also help it to get Scooter, or use it to get Scoots flipped.
Sure, assuming you're starting with Concerning Cutie Mark. And sometimes you might. There are a good number of friends here that will help with Concerning Cutie Mark.
Oh, that's another good point here. This is a Confront to Flip main in a meta where Silverstream is running around. You're probably going to also want a Searching, because I will cackle with glee if you open against Silverstream with Cutie Mark.
Searching is a good option.
Bad time. Sorry, go ahead.
Bad option.
So we've got an initial revised version. Let's take a look at some of the cards that got swapped out.
Also, hold on a moment. Is this a 48 card deck?
Is it?
I think it is. 0
I think so.
3 O's? No, there's some 2 O's in there.
We can look at the actual deck.
It is. It is
Yeah.
the 48 card deck.
Okay. So, cut 3 cards.
It's one of the things we're going to be working on doing. So we also need
Or
to
add-
find a way to trim down the cards.
Yeah, either cut 3 or add 5.
45 or 53.
Correct.
So what do we have with this first revised look, Chase?
Let's take a look at the revision.
53 is not a serious number. It's just a tradition.
It is. It's traditional. It is tradition.
Okay.
To clarify further, it's a horrible meme about Skitter's decks are normally about 53 cards in size.
So there's a few changes that have been made here. The first of which is we've added several ways to allow Scootaloo to flip or to boost herself on turn 2, even if you are running a lacking lesson plans or being forced to confront over an opponent's problem that may have 4 requirement. These methods include Flim and Flam Shams, who have replaced the Trixie friend. Sorry, Hithrock.
Yeah.
Because the turn they come into play, they have 3 power, which is nice. It includes Greta, who is a 3 power body, and Scootaloo really likes 3 power bodies. In fact, she likes bodies that are as big as they can reasonably get. That also move your characters for free. And we've included a pair of staves as well. Not all 3, because sometimes 3 sticks is a hard ask.
It's also not always necessary.
True.
So-
The problem deck has been changed somewhat to make the confront requirements as low as possible, although I did forget to include 1 searching like Ara recommended, which I think would be a good idea.
Bonk.
Yes. Much of the Frighten that is in this deck has actually stuck around. 2 Pony Pirates are still there in place. All 3 Mystery Mares are still there because it's a very efficient friend. T-Rex Reigns of Terror are still there, and the Staff of Saconis actually add some more Frighten, which is nice. But go ahead.
I wonder, though, if you have a recommendation if sticks are not available. Because sticks are not always easy to come by, even.
Go pick up some off the ground outside.
Well, yes. I mean, if you've got plush dashes, those are maybe not what you would really like to be using, but they're not bad cards.
Sure. Plushy Dash is going to have a huge impact in any deck that it goes in, though generally Bluna likes it a lot.
Right.
You
I mean,
could
it's
run
not-
that.
I mean, it's not so great here just because Scootaloo is going to be doing a lot of moving in the first place,
Right.
but
If-
it's still a good card.
If you had to replace the staffs and you needed something to help you confront lacking lesson plans early, I would recommend Caramel Apple.
I do have one maybe less obvious suggestion here,
Mm-hmm.
which is the Banish fixer for Orange, Brayburn. One, it's entry, and two, it's actually efficient. I think it's 1 token for 2 power.
That's true. It's an option. You could end up running that in place of some number of the honest ponies.
It's a possibility.
Yeah. Daybreaker has replaced Back in Black. Daybreaker is Scootaloo's dream. Night Glider is a fine card, but doesn't contribute a whole lot of power towards confronting. Daybreaker needs a lot of what a problem needs, almost by herself. In some cases, by herself with Concerning Cutie Mark. Gives you 6 power in a face-off, and gives you an extra bonus point as long as you win, no matter how much you win by. And to add in with some extra movement things that maybe synergize a little bit better with the Pony Pirate theme and Scootaloo, we've got First Mate Mullets in here as well. First Mate Mullet is one of the strongest orange-blue multicolor friends. It's a stubborn body that lets you move another one of your characters at immediate speed for 1. First Mate Mullet almost says you can exhaust him to give one of your other friends swift and agile. That's basically what it's like.
Except it's better than that because it doesn't even get taxed by Shoei and stuff.
Sure. But you can only do it once.
Most of the time, that's all it takes.
The final little switch here was dropping 1 Big Mac and a few other cards to add in 2 Trash, because sometimes Big Mac is just not going to be the right answer, especially playing against an opposing deck like Desert Road.
Yup.
But by keeping some high threat cards on the board, making it easier to flip Scootaloo, making the problems easier to confront, and adding a few more ways around troublemakers with immediate speed movement on Mullet and 2 more Buckball championships, this should hopefully increase the speed of the deck quite a bit without forcing you to break the bank on getting a lot of these cards.
Yeah, because a good chunk of this stays fairly low rarity. Like the Daybreakers and the Sticks are probably the most annoying thing to get a hold of here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rainbow Dash is also kind of hard to get.
Something tells me that Pirate Dash may have...
has Rainbow Dashes.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
Roll to disbelieve.
Pirate Dash has Pirate Dashes.
All right, Cheese. Take us to the next one.
Hey, look, it's Tempest.
So this is Blue Fairy's deck that she submitted. Hi, Blue.
And I will quote, okay, garbage deck submits this. I have questions.
The title of this deck is I Just Want a Bunyip.
Looking at this, like, this has a good chance at getting you more than 1 Bunyip, I believe.
Under additional notes... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So go ahead. What you got?
Under additional notes, the key cards or interaction she likes is Miss Main bringing back a lot of cards and a lot of banishing of opposing cards. Well, yeah, you're going to banish a lot of stuff with this deck. A lot more than I think most people will be prepared for.
If you don't like something, it's going to go bye-bye. But let's take a look at this and see about getting you a chance at more than just 1 Bunyip. How about 4?
I'm going to go for 4 Bunyips.
Let's go for 4 Bunyips.
So there are a lot of cards here that provide very powerful effects. But fundamentally, I think we can say this is a control deck. Would we all agree?
I don't know. I guess it doesn't have any minuets? No, not minuets.
Moon Dancers?
Moon dancers.
Correct. So it can't be an aggro deck.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely not an aggro deck.
Doesn't
It-
have enough one-ofs to be control deck.
It doesn't
has
have
the
enough
Luna
one
that
No,
of
no, no,
runs
to
on
be combo.
True.
Yeah,
It has the Luna that runs on Spite, so that already leans it towards control.
right. There was not a ton of immediates.
No, but there's a few. Magical Misfire is nice, and a Wrinkle in Time is obviously amusing.
It's got Rest in Pieces. But it doesn't have anything that really would do a good job at disrupting confronts. Which is kind of interesting.
I think you mentioned that this is very reminiscent of Moonlight Sonata.
In ways, yes.
It does look like one of this deck's goals may be to try to mill the opponent out, remove access to all their cards through A Wrinkle in Time and I'm the Friend You Need, and eventually just leave them with no options on board by putting Catajax into play. And I like the hand attack from multiple angles here, where you've got both grubbers and the hyper beams.
So mean.
It's not. It's nice. It's nice. So let's tweak it just a bit, and like double the number of cards in the deck. Number of unique cards, anyway.
Okay.
No, just run a 90 card deck. It's fine.
Yeah.
Seems good. What's that magic card that you win if you've got like...
Battle of Wits.
Yeah,
200 cards.
yeah.
We should
Hi,
print
Blue.
that in Pony. Totally makes sense, right?
So let's see what the tweaked version looks like at first.
Good luck. You're going to need help
Okay.
shuffling that.
Hey, look. The Catajax. I mean, yes, it has Catajax, but it also has Factory
Whoa.
Jax.
What's this? A Moon Dancer.
I guess it's
Not
an
the
aggro
aggro.
deck now.
Yeah,
Not
it's
the
an aggro
aggro
deck.
moon dancer. Not the
It's-
aggro moon dancer.
Aggro deck. Aggro deck.
Yeah. Okay. So all of the events that we had there before are still there, but just brought down in quantity a little bit. Because one of the things that Blue Fairy mentioned that she'd like to do was to bring back a lot of her cards with Mistmane. Well, if you've got Mistmane, then it's less necessary to run a full play set of every possible event that you have.
But I don't want my
Additionally-
opponents to get cards.
You don't want your opponents to get cards? Cool. Let's mill them with Sweetie Belle.
But then that's more cards they can get back with Mistmane.
Huh? Oh, no, you're still running 2 magical misfires. You're not letting the opponent actually take anything back.
Oh, okay.
No, we're keeping those in there. We've also added some extra AT generation with Applejack Factory Organizer,
Of
because
course.
playing Mistmane as frequently as you'll want to is likely going to be expensive.
School shutdowns are also going to be expensive if you have to play those.
So will Catajax, so will Lunas. The problem deck was also changed to help out a bit here. Blackmail is, based problem.
Just kind of good.
Entrance Exam provides some nice AT generation, and Spell Showdown can give you some nice card generation since there are 15 events in here, and will make it more difficult for the opponent to confront.
Yeah. Nice big numbers on the top sides of those. Those are good.
The Moon Dancer is going to be nice, either to hit with Pony of Shadows or eventually play if you can, because it will give you a cheaper option of being able to play events from your discard pile. So now you don't necessarily have to spend the 3 AT to play Mistmane. You can just exhaust Moon Dancer if you've got, say, a couple of I'm the Friend You Needs in the discard pile, and play one of them back again. It will be gone after that point in time, but it'll help with the milling. And eventually your opponent may be so sick of never keeping anything on board that they just throw the game.
I think a couple of things you might wish to consider aside from this is cracking the case, just because that's nice if it's like, hey, I don't like your troublemaker.
Yep, cracking the case is a good one.
It's really funny. They drop a mimics and like, okay, I've got this, and playing events over there, and just like, or I'm going to crack the thing before the tax comes online, and then they're sad.
You could also consider running the third Mistmane as well. Mistmane is a card that having it 3 in a mill deck is not a terrible option, because even if Mistmane ends up in your discard pile herself, you can bring her back, and then you mill players, and it gives you more options for recursion, and it's just a good card.
Yeah, I guess it is.
So you can be like cheese and run a 46 card deck and make the rest of us just sit here and squirm.
Yeah.
Whatever, you got entry, go ahead, add a Sunset Festival. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Do it!
There you go. Sunset Festival, 46 card.
With no other pink, genius.
I actually took out the
His
Sunset
motivational
Festival.
speech.
And a fire. It's fine.
It's fine. There's training traditions in there. It's all good. Werefrog agrees. Needs more
Galaxy
coffee.
Brain
You
play
would
here.
need 2 fires to get it.
Yeah, oh well.
Oh, well.
We'll make it work.
We appreciate everyone that sent in deck lists. Although we weren't able to get to all of them today, we will definitely be saving some of those and using them for a later Deck Doctor stream. This is something that it seems like people may enjoy, and I know that we certainly enjoy being able to tweak decks like this.
There's one that I want to call out. It had a lot of changelings in it. The bad kind of changeling.
There were like 2 with a lot of changelings, right?
There was one with a lot of
I
changelings.
think there were 2.
It's actually
Maybe
all
there were two.
changelings.
Yes.
The bad
Someone
kind
did.
of changeling.
Someone did that intentionally.
Not all of them were
I-
bad.
No. Intentional is
Running
Cursed Chords.
Yes.
one friend.
The one
Uh,
friend.
You will never get over that.
I remain tilted.
It was pretty good.
Like,
More than a year later.
yes. It was a masterwork troll. And credit where it is due, because there's a lot of credit due there, but
He hates that.
There you go.
Stupid tricksy. Changelings.
Well, let's take a look at a few of the spoilers that have been revealed over the last week or so that we haven't had the chance to discuss yet, because spoilers are fun.
alright, settle in.
Like Rainbow.
Hey, didn't that card have a different...
No.
No,
No?
this is what it's always been. I don't know what you're
It
talking
was always
about.
this... It was always this title?
Uh-huh.
Correct.
Yep.
And always this subtitle?
Yes.
Correct.
Alright.
And always that flavor text.
Always this flavor text. Okay.
You didn't read the flavor text, did you?
I read the flavor text this time.
The feud continues.
Of course it does.
What does this
All
card
right.
even do? It gets fancy, it looks like.
I think this one just makes me angry. Like,
I mean, it is kind of vexing.
I can see running into this and just being like, ugh.
Like, I can actually see a Hats deck kind of sort of working with this card.
I can too. And that's part of why
He hates that.
Cybernetic Wing Actuator is an accessory, right?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. Never run that.
So 1AT, hasty, play this, move it up to a problem, retire the accessory.
You don't confront.
Lol. Seems good. That's going to be funny. Run this with like Princess Mask and just all kinds of good stuff. This is going to be great. Free Princess Mask. Yeah.
No minimum. That's terrible.
Just imagine
No,
Rainbow
no.
Dash wearing that terrifying mask.
It would complete her ensemble.
Oh my god.
She's
There's
wearing
a-
shoes.
There.
She is wearing shoes.
Oh. Yeah, there's something else that hasn't been spoiled yet. That. Oh my god.
What's
I'm-
making her hair stand up?
It's anime hair. Don't ask
Lots of-
questions.
Lots of hairspray.
It was designed by Tetsuya Nomura, don't worry about it.
There you go. Good answer. This is a cool card. It'll depend on what kind of accessories we see in this set.
Depend on what kind of accessories we see in the set.
Enough hairspray for her own personal hole in the ozone layer. Nice. But yeah, there's definitely potential here, and that's going to be an irritating card in harmony with CLA. So
That's yeah. This is just going to be an irritating card, period. Any kind of accessory you put on this thing, and it's just sitting there, smiling at you, waiting, watching.
10-carat hat, just tweet.
Oh my god.
It'll be great. All right, next card.
Once I get the next arrow to work. There we go. Feather bangs.
Justin Bieber.
Costs more than he gives power for. Terrible card.
No. He costs more than his printed power. Let's read the card.
It says
Why?
something entirely different.
Just look at the cost and power.
Ivory,
Do I need to read the card?
you should read the card.
Speaking of hairspray,
When you play this card, you may discard any number of cards. Draw that many cards. And when you discard a card, put a 1-power pink Earth Pony friend token into play. And the cost is 2 AT, 3 orange, and
No.
3 pink.
No,
3 AT.
3 AT.
That says 2.
it's
No.
supposed to be 3.
It's 3.
It was always 3.
It was always. It was
we
always
should make it
3.
3. I mean 2. No.
No, we should not make this cost 2.
Why? It's great.
That is
So-
in fact supposed to be 3 tokens.
Technically,
I know.
you could have your entire deck in your hand, be playing
Oh.
a 200 card deck.
Ponyhead is wrong.
I guess have 100 cards in your hand. Discard 100 cards, draw 100 cards, and then have 100 Earth Fighting tokens.
Yes, theoretically, this is a thing that could happen.
And then play. What is that? Party hard. And
Yes.
Make your opponent very sad.
Yes, and then you
'Cause
draw
your
another 100
opponent-
cards.
Also has 100 cards.
Cards in hand and must discard their entire hand. Okay. So important things to know here. If you replace the discard, you will not draw to replace it. So if you want to use his ability and put a Fire of Friendship into play, for example, that's fine. You can.
You
but
just did discard.
Right. It just did discard, so you're not going to draw a card for the Fire of Friendship that got put into play.
And a Earth Pony token will also not pop into existence.
Correct. However, Earth Pony tokens will pop into existence whenever you discard a card for any reason.
Hello, Nightmare Moon.
Hello, Grubber. Hello, as an additional cost to play this card, discard 2 cards.
And so on and so forth.
Exactly. This card is interesting because, like Backup Dancers, it gives you a nice established board when it comes into play. But unlike Backup Dancers, it continues to be useful even after it has entered play, or even after you have played it.
Oh, okay. Tech play.
Okay,
Right.
okay, tech play. Here we go.
All right. All right. So it makes a bunch of Earth Pony tokens, right?
Right.
Carbo loader.
I
And flip all the
my
cards.
deck.
And then reorder your deck as you please.
Perfect. Flawless. His tail is really short.
He trims it.
It's styled.
Or he has it
Hairspray.
trimmed.
It's hairspray. It's just perpetually curved like that around the right side of his body. Perfect. Okay, what's next?
Fluttershy. Professor of Fluttershyness.
Now with stronger snakes.
She gives critters power.
Swole snakes?
Swole snakes.
We need a critter main. I don't think we have one yet.
I don't believe we do.
Friend to animals?
No, a critter main.
A
No,
main
like-
that is a critter.
Oh. I mean, sure.
I enjoy that ponies don't count as critters.
So 2 AT, 2 power entry friend that when a player has 8 or more points, you have an anthem for your critter friends. You have
+1 power on all your critter friends.
no matter where they are.
Uh-huh. And it's also not unique.
In a set where there's a lot of critter friends,
Maybe? There's at least a couple critters.
That we know about.
There's
Yeah, it
Luna and
seems-
the goose. That's a critter.
that's true. We saw the Yonas.
You know what else is a critter?
We saw the spiders.
At least in
What?
Harmony?
What?
Everything on the board because you've got Philomena.
Yes, technically true. Including Fluttershy herself. Seems good.
Ridiculous power.
This is a very good entry. This is an amazing yellow entry friend. And more than that, it is a friend that you're not going to be sad to see late game.
No, like this is a piece of entry that is probably going to get kept around for longer than like other cards.
Yeah.
Like a lot of other cards. Because late game, holy crap.
Next one.
Rara. But we can't call her Rara anymore because that means whatever her name is.
It's
No.
Rah Rah
She's rah rah rah.
Rara.
Right.
Rah. Rah Rah. So this is Rah Rah, throw me a bone, dear. Those are Poppy stats. I bet this does Poppy things.
Let's see.
Exhaust this card and one of your non-token friends or resources. Okay. 2, have an opponent gain control of that friend or resource.
Why
Then
would
if
you
that
ever
opponent-
want to do that? That sounds bad.
Well, hold on. Then, if that opponent controls 2 or more non-token friends or resources that you own, score a point.
Go on.
So I can play that resource. I can play like Petrified on one of your friends, right? And then that friend does nothing. And then I can say, here you go. You can have the Petrified.
Rarity is so generous.
She's so kind. Like the Werefrog says, you can play an accessory on one of your friends to give it some extra power, and then you can say to your opponent, here, you can have that accessory, and the opponent just sits there stone-faced the entire time like, why do you do this?
Thank you for that. Yes. You do have to be a little bit careful here though, because some things say attach on an opposing friend, for example, or one of your friends.
Mhm.
And resources check there.
Yes. And resources do pay attention to stuff like that.
Yeah.
And be a little careful here.
Of course, a really funny thing you can do here as well is if you have a friend that you played a while ago and your opponent frightened it, and you're like, I'm never going to unfrighten that friend, you can just be like, here.
Don't donate paper twice.
I'm
Bad idea.
done. I'm done with them. The game constantly checks before each player receives priority, Werefrog.
And so it's kind of like playing a resource on a face-down friend. You cannot exhaust them.
You're right, Werefrog. I apologize. You cannot donate a frightened friend. That is unfortunate.
Yes, because that is a cost.
Yes, you are correct.
That is unfortunate.
I did miss that. Oh well, that's fine. You can do things like play an Octavia Harsh Judge and be like, okay, belly flop can't be played. And then give Harsh Judge to your opponent and be like, belly flop can't be played. Your opponent's sitting there with a hand of 6 belly flops. Like, darn.
I'd have different
I
No,
also
that's
have
fine.
questions.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with this.
There's nothing wrong with this. This is fine.
But it's okay if it's 6 singing barrels.
I also have questions.
Actually, that's another fun one. I have so many entry resources in my hand. Here,
Have one.
Yeah, exactly.
Have this barrel. I'm done with this.
Yo, you want to return that barrel to its owner's hand? Why, thank you so much.
Just beware of this backfiring because there's some really funny things that can happen.
Rarity is such a generous pony, always looking out for everyone else and never having an angle for herself.
Correct.
Never.
Never.
Next card.
Next card.
Mirror Pool Miscount. Which one is the fake?
Oh man, now that's going to bother me every time I see it. I don't know.
Maybe the real Pinky is the fake Pinky.
So 2 pink, 4 wild, and 6 wild for the opponent. 1 bonus problem. When this problem becomes solved, your maximum hand size increases to 10 for the rest of the game.
Can it say increases by 10?
No, it cannot say increases
Nice.
by 10.
210.
I want an 18 card hand.
No. I like having more cards in hand. I think Silverstream likes more cards in hand. Am I correct? Does Silverstream like having cards in hand?
I mean, yeah. Anyone running Selena wants more cards in hand.
Lyra likes having more cards in hand. Don't flip Lyra until after this problem becomes solved. Flip Lyra, draw 10.
Yeah.
Seems
Okay.
fine.
So now we need to come up with a way to repeatedly get this solved to increase your hand size to 45, right? Okay.
But it only increases to 10.
Yes.
Darn.
This is a fun one. It's a neat effect. Just make sure you have some kind of visual representation to show that you have a higher hand limit, or you'll forget. Maybe have a little pink pie blind bag figure that you put next to your deck.
On top of your discard pile.
Sure. All right, next card.
There is no color in this card.
There is color in this card.
This card is
It's
colorless.
It's
Don't-
faded.
Don't
It's a colorless
believe it.
card.
GP, question.
Yes.
Is this card
No.
colorless or white?
This card is aloe.
No, this card is white.
That's... So it's white.
This card is colorless. Man, this card has a bunch of text. It must be really, really complicated.
No, it just has 2 keywords.
No, it's not. That's just inspired.
That's just inspired.
That's Just inspired.
It's vexing and it's inspired. Bugle had actually asked the question in Discord a while back. Why couldn't we have this card with 2 printed power instead of 1 printed power? Originally, it wasn't these 2.
It was supposed to be f-stop.
So, every time you see this card, you can just imagine it's f-stop again. And I'm sure that will make everyone happy.
And it makes me the opposite of happy. It makes me angry.
I don't think it's quite as bad as banding.
Banding is pretty bad. A second card with Vexing, though, so Vexing apparently making a return a little bit. This is interesting to see. We'll have to see if Inspire
So
does the same.
angry!
So angry.
Next card.
Next card.
Hey, it's a main. It's pink main.
Pinkie Pie. Pay X to turn this card over, where X is the number of
But
cards
I
in your
don't
hand minus
wanna
1.
Pay 6 to flip.
You have to pay a lot to flip.
What's your flip side?
So you have... I don't know, let's take a look. What's it say?
At the start of the score phase, you may exhaust this card and discard any number of cards at random. To
Hello.
dismiss an opposing non-token friend with cost equal to the number of cards discarded this way.
Was that Sea Poppy saying hello there?
That is not just Sea Poppy saying hello. That is Mosh Pit rubbing its greedy little hooves together and going, "Hi, yes, I am okay with this."
Okay, so to clarify here, the number of cards that you choose to discard is not random, but the actual cards you discard are random.
Well, all my friends are 1 for 1, so I don't see a problem with this.
And this is dismissal on a main.
That is not restricted to location.
Yep. Now, you do go through a lot of cards.
Sure.
In Harmony, you just run juggling routine.
Yeah, but then your opponent gets their friends back too, and then the party never ends.
Correct.
That's why you run pink-purple.
To magical misfire before you
Sit here
juggle.
and
Yes.
run Gabby.
It's so mean.
And then
Yeah,
eventually you can
could
school
run-
shutdown.
You could run Gabby with this. You could run Party Mare and follow my lead with this, so you can just discard follow my lead for free and then get it back when Party Mare moves. And you can run Sea Poppy with this. And yeah, that's actually the fun thing here. If you want to guarantee a Sea Poppy point, you can now do so. It's just going to cost you every card in your hand. Every turn. But you can do it.
Yeah.
Maybe worth? Question mark?
Well, I mean, look at it this way. If you've got enough tokens, you just go, okay, whatever. I'm going to discard the presumably 1 card in my hand.
Yes, you do
For
need
1
at least
token.
1 card in your hand for Sea Poppy to work. That's correct. Where from?
Okay, so basically you're guaranteed to win the game in like 15 turns now.
Sure, assuming we've never scored any other points. Sounds
And
good.
Poppy doesn't eat it, and long other list of conditions that are probably not going to remain satisfied for very long.
Hey, one other thing here. Main has home limit of 5. That's nice. I can dig it.
Yeah. And Pinkie Pie is off the chain.
All right, what else we got?
No, we're not done yet.
Hypnotized by fear. Gain control of an opposing friend. At the end of your score phase, put that friend on top of its owner's deck. That sounds whitish and purplish to me.
It's kind of expensive, but it's also a steal. Unfortunately, it is main phase speed.
You can belly flop it. I'm going to steal my opponent's Daybreakers. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm going to steal opponent Luna Midnight. No, Luna Midnight will be exhausted. I'm going to steal my opponent's Princess Twilight Sparkle Endless Friendship. There we go. That sounds great.
You should follow that up with a Sunset Festival after it hits the top of your opponent's deck.
What, am
Except,
I'm playing purple, white, blue, pink?
Yeah.
Gotta run. Yeah. Wrong speed.
Sonic Random. Sure. Seems fine. Seems great. Fun card. Interesting. It'll be curious to see which friends are going to be most impactful to steal.
Yeah, this is a very interesting tool for control here.
I'm gonna like duplicating it with Starlight, or with the new Twilight entry that
I
we
was
have.
about to say, you're gonna love duplicating that with Twilight.
Oh wait, we can't duplicate that with Twilight. That's right. It
Can
costs
you
3. No, it costs 3. Twilight only
Yeah.
lets us copy things with 2 or
Darn
less.
shame. Oh, we're gonna have to go and get that. Doesn't some of the Premiere stuff reduce the cost rather than say pay less?
2 bits does, yeah.
Hmm.
There we go. Seems good. Next card.
Tall one. But
Kieran's.
she's technically skinnier than Celestia, so therefore she's lower rank.
Because that's the way you determine
Yes.
that?
Yes, that's how this works.
Biggest pony is in charge.
Right. They work like space orcs.
All right. A 1 for 2. Aggressive cost. While this card is flipped, players can't play events. That's rude.
It is rude. You know what's even more rude?
What?
Immediate retire this card. If you do, players can't gain action tokens this turn. I would like to point out that at the start of the turn, the order is ready everything, gain tokens. And only then does a priority window happen where you can use this immediate ability. So you will always get your tokens for the turn.
Okay, that's good. So you can't completely lock the opponent out of AT for the turn.
No.
However, if your opponent is playing a combo deck that you suspect is going to be going off, or sitting on a bunch of AT generating friends,
Or has a very large number of unicorn tokens with prepared somewhere. Bodyguards.
yep, then maybe you can retire. Seems interesting. That chaos could be mean too. There are some decks that like to play a lot of events and face-offs. Keep in mind, it affects you too. It affects both players equally. In fact, both of these cards affect both players equally.
I mean, the second one is pretty unlikely to affect you, but
yeah,
sure.
You can choose when to use that. So after you've used all of your glimmers, and you're probably running glimmers because this thing is in purple, by the way. Then you retire this and go, all right, I see your army of unicorn tokens. Let's go.
All right. Last spoiler that we've seen so far.
Implying that there are more.
Two more spoilers.
Sunny skies. Pleased as a poplar tree to meet you.
No, he actually properly enunciates that and doesn't use a Micha.
I haven't seen this episode yet.
This is not from an episode. This is from Rainbow Road Trip.
You need
That's
to see
an
this.
episode, right?
This is great.
No.
No,
It's a
it's like
special.
That's an
It's
episode.
using movie style art.
So that still counts as an episode.
it's like an hour long.
They do combined all the times, 2-parters.
No, this isn't a two-parter. This is just its own. Like this was going to be a second movie.
Oh.
It's
I
cute
should
and
watch it
adorable.
at some point.
It also has Best Pony.
Who's best pony? Fluttershy?
Kerfuffle.
I mean, Fluttershy.
Spelled just like it sounds with a
Funny.
double.
With extra. I'm going to stop talking now.
So as
Funny-
this card into play, you may reveal a card in your hand, and this card is the revealed friend's colors.
So I can reveal like Luna?
Yeah, and then he's 3 colors. Or you can reveal like Cadence, and then he's those 3 colors. Or you can reveal like Kevin, and then he's
Wait.
Yeah, he's definitely those colors. If you reveal Kevin,
Question.
yes,
What color is he if I reveal Aloe?
colorless.
XD.
He's white if you reveal Aloe.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that for the class?
It's white if you reveal Aloe. No. Look at what you made me do. Lights is up. I hope you're pleased as a poplar tree with yourself. I'm assuming.
The
I'm
evil
assuming-
smirk that is on my face right now is going to take some time to wear off.
Okay, done. Let's go to the next one.
Great tracks of seedlings.
Great seedling tracks.
This is an event. This is actually kind of good because now all those cards that people normally look at and are like, why would you want to exhaust something during your main phase? That's like, eh? Well, I've got a good answer to that now. Check this thing out.
Yup.
So
Now
I
you
can
use it
like
to be aggressive.
use stick and then give sticks power.
No,
No, it's character.
not card.
I want to give it card. Can I
No.
can I
And then
exhaust my
stick- and then your
Friends
opponent-
too.
can I
and your
exhaust my
opponent would
problem?
be-
And then
No.
No.
and then
And it also says opposing exhausted. There's nothing in here that even closely. What is wrong with you? No. Exhaust one of your opponent's friends or their main, and then you get their power. Now, if your opponent has a staff and you exhaust their main, that's good times. That's
good
very
times.
good times.
Especially if their main's thorax.
Or mod. Yeah.
I'm liking this thing where you exhaust the trader and then steal all his power.
This seems good.
This pleases me.
There you go. Okay, that's all the spoilers that we've seen so far for this week. What do you think? We're getting somewhat close to Continentals. You think we should throw a few more out there?
Time to unload some things.
All right.
Let's talk. Let's talk for a
I think-
moment about the. Crap! I think this is now the best song in the entire series.
Yeah, it's up there.
Nah, it's like first or second.
It's a really good song.
It's like first or second.
Let's show the song we're talking about.
We are,
There we
of course,
go.
talking about Winter Wrap Up. I mean, a
Winter
better way to be
Wrap Up,
bad.
Winter Wrap Up.
Hey, look, it's the other song. Also, it's got a picture of our queen on it.
Hey, look, they all have plushes. Why does Chrissy have a rarity plush?
Why don't you have a rarity plush?
You don't? Do you
Why
not?
is there no Applejack plush?
It would,
Applejack
actually
doesn't
make, it would
exist.
actually make far more sense for Chrissy to have a Starlight plush, because then Cozy goes after Twilight, Tyrek goes after Pinky for she was harassing him inside of Tartarus, and Chrissy goes after Starlight.
Well, you can call DHX up and complain.
Ah, well. For now, it's blue and it's orange and it's purple. What does it do?
I don't know. I can't read any of that.
Choose one. That's what it says. Oh, it also says frighten up to 2 friends. Look at a player's hand and choose a card. Then that player banishes that card. Or name a card. Put all cards in your discard pile with that name on top of your deck and shuffle your deck.
So I get to scare 2 things for 1 token each. It seems good.
It's okay. You can permanently remove a card from your opponent's hand of your choice.
That's a banish, so that fire, no. Not allowed.
Or if your opponent has made you burn all of your cards of a certain type, you can get them back in your deck. I think technically this does let a deck that is running 3 copies of this card technically never run out of cards in its deck.
It just has to keep. Well, I mean, it'll run out of them sooner or later because it'll probably get misfired at some point. Like you're up to some shenanigans is the problem here.
The Werefrog asks, why does it say put those cards on top of your deck, then shuffle the deck, instead of just shuffle those cards into your deck? Well,
Because there are some cards like Moon Dancer that goes well in aggro decks that care about cards getting put on top of your deck.
Correct.
Purple sometimes cares. So
Interesting.
Mm.
But I'm going to need a little more support if I'm going to be playing blue, orange, and purple.
are you now?
What kind of support? I mean, you've already got like Factory Jack and Glimmer.
Yeah, but Factory Jack's going to be rotating, and Glimmer's just purple, and like I can run Daring Do. I guess that's pretty good, but I want some more stuff. I want something big and beefy.
You want?
Hashtag beefy.
Beefy.
Beefy. I'm thinking Arby's.
You can have all of the Arby's you want.
Whoa! What is this?
All right, double whammy. Let's do this.
I'm okay with the one on the left. I'm not okay with the one on the right.
Get out.
One on the right.
Ember is so angry she's leaving the card border.
She's telling you to get out.
It's going to be really awkward to play that card when there's just a little finger sticking out over the edge. Okay, Ember. Let's take a look at this thing. She is a dragon, royalty, and unique, of course. Your friends involved in face-offs can't be dismissed or frightened. At the end of a face-off, if you didn't lose that face-off, distribute 2 +1 power counters among up to 2 of your friends.
So that's
And-
some interesting wording there.
Yeah, if you didn't lose. We normally just see if you win the face-off, so there must be a reason for this, right?
Mm-hmm. Probably. What we got?
Immediate. Exhaust this card to end a face-off. This card doesn't ready during its controller's next ready phase. So, this is not the first time that we have seen cards that end a face-off, but it is the first time we've seen them in core. The Werewolf asks, how does this work with your opponent's staff? Well, the short answer for how this works with your opponent's staff is if your opponent wants to use Staff of Sakanis while you have an Ember in play, you should probably let them because your friends involved in the face-off can't be frightened or dismissed. So unless you're fearing a chaos effect, it's probably okay. The answer, though, to exhaust this card to end a face-off. So anytime you have priority, you can use that. What happens when you end a face-off, Ara?
Well, that depends on whether or not you've already flipped cards.
Okay, let's say we haven't flipped cards.
Well, then the face-off just quits, and everything becomes uninvolved, and no one wins or loses.
What if we flipped cards?
Well, then
They stay in the flip
the
zone
flipped
forever.
cards,
Just kidding.
if you are not tied, then one player won or lost, and the face-off will have whatever effects it says it does when someone wins or loses.
No.
Yes.
No. When you end a
Mhm.
face-off, the face-off ends immediately, and there is no winner or loser. It does not
no.
matter if cards have been flipped yet or not.
I believe it does, actually.
You
but-
progress immediately to the last step in a face-off.
All right, we'll have to double check that.
I will confirm that this is how it works, because this is how Shirley was used. Because otherwise, Shirley's chaos effect would be meaningless.
Well, no, because if you look into the rules, you'll see in 514.6, and this is doing this until power totals are not the same. If you let the priority window close, so you can still look at the cards and decide whether or not you'd like to do something about this, I believe. If you let it progress beyond that, you can decide to accept the win or loss as appropriate. And if you do not decide, or if you decide that you want to end it without proceeding to that step, then the face-off just stops. But there is a point past which someone has won or lost the face-off.
Sure. And obviously, if you proceed past a point where someone has won or lost the face-off, then still wins or loses.
Right.
That goes without saying.
Yes, you do have to be slightly careful about where in the face-off you are here. There are nuances. So expect probably an FAQ entry for this, just to make it very clear to everyone how this is supposed to be handled.
But the one way that I think a lot of players will use this card is they will wait to see what the flipped cards were, and as they are mentally calculating in their head what the power is like, they can choose whether or not they are favored in the face-off and want to continue, or whether or not they are not favored in face-off and want to end it immediately. All right. Let's look at Ara's favorite card.
Rainbow Dash.
Nice.
Nice meme.
My response does not change.
All right. This is Thorax. Ara, why don't you read this
I
card
hate
for
it.
everyone? Why don't you read this card for
I hate it.
everyone? Read the dang card, Ara.
Well, it says he's a traitor to the Hive. And so he's a traitor to the Hive, royalty unique. Pink, white, and yellow. Yeah. And it says your token friends have +1 power, don't count against your home limit. So I'm hearing snakes.
Snakes.
Lots of snakes.
Many snakes.
Other friends lose and can't have unique.
Well, yeah, changelings everywhere.
That has some implications.
So I can have more than one sea poppy out?
Can have multiple spoons out.
I can have multiple cadences out.
And
That's
regrettably,
cheating.
and I hate the fact that this is the case, this enables you to have multiple identity thefts out.
Yes, it does. It also technically lets you have multiple thoraxes out, since each thorax shuts off the uniqueness of the other one, which is kind of funny.
I'm issuing this card a hissing.
That's great.
And then the last thing it says is if one of your non-token friends would leave play, you may retire a number of token friends equal to that friend's cost instead. If you do, that friend doesn't leave play. And so if you've got 1 million snake tokens sitting around, it's going to be kind of hard to remove your stuff.
Use some bodyguards and use some token generators, and Thorax is a very selfish king.
I don't like this neon Bambi on my screen.
He sits there and throws all the other changelings under the bus when someone tries to belly flop him.
5 of them, to be precise.
Terrible leader. Worst. Let's get Queen Chrysalis in there. Yeah, that middle ability is going to have some interesting implications. It will be kind of funny to see what people decide to do with that.
But we're forgetting the most important thing.
Which is?
He completely hoses Trenderhoof.
Yes, he does.
Because can't overrides can.
Mm-hmm.
Or has in this case.
So,
yes.
As much as I am loath to admit this, he does have one redeeming quality.
Yeah.
Speaking of redeeming qualities, I'm going to get him into play for 2 AT with that summons in his colors, because that seems really good. Yeah?
Maybe.
Something about bombs?
Something about bombs. Hey, let's put multiple... Ooh, there we go. I'm going to put multiple Luna Midnights into play and tax my opponent 2 AT every time they try to move one of their characters. Yeah.
Stopping at 2 and not going for 3?
Yeah.
And then making token
Not-
copies.
Xeroxing them because that's a thing you can do now?
3
Yeah,
for
we can-
3 exhaust to frightens every turn?
Oh, wait, no, it gets better. 'cause
6.
You can
now-
do-
and then we're in pink.
And
We're
now
going
you-
to dip in the pool.
You can do
and-
9
oh,
without even getting into the weird ways of increasing
Nothing
it.
good ever
Yes, man.
happens.
Yeah. This is great.
Just gonna go buy a fly swatter and just write Banhammer on it. Just wait to swap this little one.
I don't think it's that bad.
It's not.
I'm still gonna go buy the fly swatter and have his name on it.
Beware of using this card in Chaos. Aura may do things to it.
All right. Well, I think that is about going to wrap up our stream for today. We would like to give a big shout out to all of our patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for your regular support, and if you aren't currently a patron and you enjoy what we do, please consider donating. Doing so enables us to make content like this. If you have comments or questions you'd like to send our way, or you just want to hear about what we're working on for the future, there are many ways you can stay in contact. We have our Patreon. You can also reach us through Facebook, Twitter, and email. And patrons at or above the $5 per month level also get access to our Slack channel. We can chat live with us any day, anytime, unless one of us has pneumonia and is perpetually asleep. Like me.
He'll still respond to you anyway. It's fine.
I will still respond to you. At my own detriment. If you're looking to watch any of our previous videos, including tournament recordings, you can find them in our YouTube channel linked in the sidebar, and please make sure to subscribe so we can have a channel URL that is a little easier to remember. But with all that said, Thank you to each and every one of our viewers, both here now and watching this recording later. We are, as always, Commentary is Magic. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
Big Cheese.
Endless hissing.
And Ivory.
We'll see you all at Continentals at Ponyville Cider Fest in a couple weeks.
And a stream 2 weeks from now?
Bring Sphinxes.
Yes. We do have a stream
and,
2
and
weeks
we
from
actually
now.
know what the stream is.
We do know what the stream is as well. If you all want to see what we're going to be playing,
May have already seen what I'm playing. Maybe. I have a proposition, but we'll talk about that in 2 weeks.
Run Tempest.
Have a good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night.